There's something weird going on here.
That was refreshing. Thank you.
It's scary. I don't want to be here anymore.
Hey, it's Billy Flynn from Geek Radio Daily here at StarFest with director, editor, founder of Red Shirt Pictures, Mr. Michael Felsher. Thank you so much for stopping by and talking to me today, sir.
Absolutely happy to be here.
So looking at your work, you're like a horror fanboy's dream come true. How did you become the chronicler of all things horror?
I kind of fell into it in a little bit of a way because, I've been interested in horror films my whole life. And I got a job at Anchor Bay Entertainment during sort of what was their glory days period where they were releasing everything on.
Yes, I own every one of the DVDs you worked on.
I can't tell you how many people said if I saw the boat on it, the little boat logo, I just bought it. And that was between 2000 and 2005. And I was sort of a utility infield there. I did sort of marketing acquisitions. I did some liner notes. I did just a lot of everything, research, and it was a great, really wonderful time to kind of learn a lot about the video business and how things worked. And then I went on to my own in 2005 to start doing filmmaking work, documenting a lot of this stuff, because at the time, DVD had evolved into an industry where there was a need for content, and a lot of people wanted to put a lot of stuff on these DVDs to help sell the stuff. And for some reason, I don't know why, I thought I can make a living doing this.
Right.
And for the last 8 years, I have, more or less, and it's been a very interesting ride, to say the least.
Now, when you were with Anchor Bay, did you get any input on what discs they, what they did, or they just like, we're going to do it, and you just said, okay, fine, I'll make it awesome?
There were a lot of voices at that company. I definitely would. There would be times where I say you got to make sure to have this particular person interviewed or something like that. But I was chiming in with a lot of people. I don't want to overstate my importance there.
Oh, go for it.
But
they're not listening.
The one thing, there were titles that, one thing I was really proud of, when we were doing Dawn of the Dead, which was a long process.
Yes.
One thing I insisted upon, and I ended up being the one to go to New York to coordinate it, was to record a commentary with all 4 cast members.
Oh, wow.
And so I would put all 4 of these people in a room together. And it took a lot of doing to get it done, but I got it done. I was just like, there, fanboy dream done. I can move on to the next thing. So there were projects like that, but there was an amazingly talented group of people over there, and it was great to be part of a team there. So,
so then having your own company, a little more liberating. You get to decide what you want to do, or do people come to you more?
Well, it's weird. I have to pitch a lot of stuff. You can't just sit around waiting for the phone to ring. But I have good, long-standing relationships with Lionsgate, Synapse Films, and Shot Factory, the Screen Factory line. I'm doing a lot of work for them lately because great people over there. I do good work. They say, oh, well, how about this one? So it kind of feeds itself after a while. But a lot of times, if you have an idea, it's like you got to go out there and pitch it, because sometimes you have to put your marketing hat on with these studios, because they won't listen to it otherwise. They need to see, why can we sell this? How will this be a profitable venture for us? Because they're looking at Transformers and Iron Man, and they're not necessarily focusing on catalog titles.
People have forgotten about Eaten Alive.
Well,
which is a shame.
Well, yeah, but Eaten Alive, interesting enough, that ended up over at Dark Sky Films because they bought a catalog that had that in it.
Nice.
So they were able, and that was what they were trying to do, is focus on cult titles like that. So sometimes these titles do find their way to the people who really were going to treasure them, do something with them. Other times they're sort of languishing in the vaults of the studio, like MGM, who is finally opening up and doing a lot of work with Shot Factory and letting a lot of the titles out of the vault. They own catalog on top of catalog that purchased another catalog that was part of a catalog. It's like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where you see all the crates and the.
When you see Warehouse 13, yeah,
it's exactly like that. It's just like there's so much stuff that they don't even know how much they have.
So then, when you did My Name Is Buck and get Robert Englund to talk, because I love Eaten Alive, the great Tobey Hubert.
Tobey Hubert.
Oh, absolutely, he's an artist. Yes,
I've worked with Tobey on this year. I've worked with him 3 different times.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Nice.
Life Force and the Funhouse and the new Texas Chainsaw 3D. And Toby's a trip. Toby's a real great guy, and working with and I'll tell you something about Eaten Alive. That was a fun project to work on. Robert Englund is one of the greatest guys in the business, because I contacted him and said, I really would like to do an interview with you. I was in LA. He was in LA working. I'd really like to do an interview with you for Eaten Alive. Like, that's great. I'm working till Friday. Can we try and maybe do it after Friday? And it just wasn't working out. And he said, oh, hey, look, what? Can you just come down to the house on Saturday? And I was
sure, I'll just come chill with you, Robert.
Sure. I ended up spending the whole afternoon at his house, and he gave me like a 2-hour-long interview, because the guy just is so outgoing, and he came up kind of the right way. He appreciates the fact that people give a crap, and he's such a good storyteller. I mean, people like him, Bruce Campbell is another one, where if you get 15 minutes with him, you can use 13 of it, because he's that good. I mean, there's just those are the people that make it worth doing. It really.
What I think is awesome is that people have seen your work without realizing it,
Mhm.
because most everyone I know owns the Monster Squad DVD.
Right, that was my biggest one. That was a really big studio. It was Lionsgate was my first project with them. I kind of helped push that along because they had acquired it as part of a catalog at the time. They didn't realize it was there. I had some friends over there. I mean, it's a huge list.
Sure, but
And
it's
then-
Monster Squad.
But you just had to put it in front of the right person. I mean, someone there knew, but when the marketing person said, "Oh, we have Monster Squad," she knew the value of it, and they just let me go to town on it. And I think that thing ended up selling almost 500,000 copies on DVD and Blu-ray. It exploded. And so I've been able to do more work with Lionsgate since then, because when you do something that well right out the gate, they kind of want to, oh, okay, well, we should hire him again for something. They've been great.
Now, what I really love is that you also show love and respect for things that even sometimes fans don't show love and respect for. So
Yeah.
for Halloween 3,
Oh, I love Halloween 3.
yes, but did you get the Silver Shamrock theme stuck in your head working on
Everyone does, even just watching that movie. And that was one of the focuses of the featurette. Is that everyone? And it was interesting when we were interviewing like the director and the stars and all the people and producers. Everyone at some point, whether they could have helped it or not, just went, da, 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 "Hurry up, it's Halloween." So we cut together a little montage in the documentary of everyone doing part of the song, because it's like crack. You can't get it. I mean, it just screws you up. And it was great, especially with something like Halloween 3, which has been misunderstood and ignored unfairly so long. And it's just now getting the appreciation. It's just now getting the appreciation that it deserves. Those are the films that are the most rewarding, when you like Night of the Creeps or Monster Squad,
Love Night of the
where
Creeps.
it's just like the movies that you've loved growing up and just focused on your whole life, that you actually get a chance to do the official documentation of it, help introduce it to a new audience. It's a privilege. It really is a privilege.
And Night of the Creeps, Halloween 3, how cool is Tom?
Tom Atkins is one of the coolest. I've worked with Tom now about 3 or 4 times. And
Nice.
Halloween 3 was a great example. I had an idea. It's like, you should do a commentary with Tom. And I thought, I'm not going to do a commentary with Tom and just talk about Halloween 3. I'm going to have 90 minutes with Tom Atkins. I'm going to cover his whole career.
Nice.
So it became a career. It was like inside the actor's studio with Tom Atkins with me, just like, so you worked on The Detective with Frank Sinatra? What was Frank Sinatra like? And if there's anybody out there who's like, why weren't you talking about Halloween 3 the whole time? It's just like, shut up. I've got Tom Atkins here. I'm going to talk to him about, I mean, if you're not into Tom Atkins, why are you listening to this track?
That's fantastic.
So I've been doing that a lot with some of the commentary tracks I've done lately. You focus on the film in hand, but it's like, I just did one with a special makeup effects artist who did Life Force.
Nice.
But he also worked on Yoda. Well, I'm not going to not talk about that. Come on, I mean, so you just kind of just go with the flow and just open it up, because I don't see how there's any harm in giving you more than you expected.
No doubt.
So if you don't want to listen to it, go listen to something else.
Fantastic. Oh, well, please work on getting the United States, the version of the Creep Show version.
That's been I'm hoping to maybe even just release that independently at some point, because
Might as well. Well, you're making people buy, multi-region players for that specific purpose.
I'm not making people do anything.
No, you are.
All right, it's my fault.
Indeed it is. Well, what's the one thing that you want to work on you haven't been able to yet?
It changes every year, because every time I say it out loud, it ends up happening.
Then do it. What is it right now? What's the next one? Flavor of the month.
If I had to pick one, I mean, there's an independent slasher film from Canada called Curtains.
Nice.
Which I would love to work on, because that one has a very interesting story behind it. And it's one of those ones that's just kind of languishing out there in a catalog, and maybe someday I'll get to do it. But I'm sure if there's a studio film called Joe versus the Volcano with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
Best work he's ever done.
I think that movie's really misunderstood.
Indeed.
I mean, that's a pipe dream. It's Warner Brothers, and they have their own people, but there's always something out there to do.
Well, I know you'll make it happen. Red Shirt Pictures, check it out. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
for
man.
talking to us today.
Appreciate it.
Outstanding.
Cool.
That is what jacks up your shoulder. I'm totally serious. You
Oh.
look like a hunchback. You gotta stop doing that.
I just want you to come back over here and fondle me.
You should just be behind him, holding him to the chair.
Yeah.
I was gonna-
Just
I
get
have
behind
this
me,
on
lady.
video, Lydia. We're in trouble.
No.
I have that on video too.
Do you? Nice.
Get the fuck out!
Yes!
Geek Radio Daily. All the geek without the wait. GeekRadioDaily.com.